What is going on, party people? So Garmin just announced the Vivoactive 3 LTE. So it's going to be a Vivoactive 3 with music with cellular connectivity. I hope they don't go with some crazy naming conventions like the Fenix 5 Plus series, you know, the Fenix 5X Plus, Fenix 5S Plus, then you have the Fenix 5 from the year before. So please don't call this the Vivoactive 3 Music Plus LTE. So this is not the Vivoactive 3 LTE, by the way. This is just the regular Vivoactive 3 Music, which is a great device for sure. But Ray from DCRaymaker.com, he already got his hands on one last night and got to play around with it, so I'll be referring to some of his clips during this video right here. Now, the big difference obviously is that it's going to have cellular connectivity, but what does that exactly get you? Well, the first of which is going to be the ability to download your playlist through LTE so you don't have to have it paired to your phone. And that one is probably a less compelling feature in my opinion, but the more compelling feature is going to be the text messaging as well as the, what is it called? The distress alerts. I think that one actually is the most compelling feature. So there's going to be a lot more details about the music portion of the cellular connectivity coming up. So I'm going to brush that to the side for the moment and talk about the more compelling features in my opinion, and that's going to be the text messaging along with the distress alerts. Now, what's interesting is that they chose the Vivoactive 3 to put the LTE chip in first before any other devices, and we're going to get back to that here in a second. But I think that's going to be interesting because it's going to be putting it more in line with other smartwatches like the Apple Watch Series 4, Series 3, and before with LTE connectivity. So considering that the Vivoactive 3 is the device that they target most to being a smartwatch, I think it kind of makes sense in that regard. But there's a reason that I think that they could have focused on some other devices that may even make it more compelling. We'll get back to that again here in a second. And in regards to the text messaging features, it appears to be very similar to what you'd have before if you had your Vivoactive 3 Music paired to an Android phone, where you'll have predefined responses that you can send, and then you can obviously receive text as well, but just without being paired to a phone. Very cool. The distress alerts, though, is what I think is going to be a little bit more compelling. Now, again, I think it's interesting that they started out with the Vivoactive 3. They're really exploiting the Vivoactive 3 platform, but it has been a really great device. So I can understand why they're trying to get as much out of this device as possible. But with the distress alerts, you'll basically long press the single button on the Vivoactive 3 and then it'll automatically send a distress alert to some family and loved ones after about 5 seconds, or you can just press send immediately and then they'll immediately get the text. But that feature alone is going to be what's interesting when it's actually offered on higher end devices like a 645 Music LTE, so you know, you get the point. Because devices like the Forerunner 645, the 935, as well as the Fenix series watches right here, those are devices that a lot of people use without their cell phone. So, I mean, these type of devices are going to be meant for runners that want to go out without carrying their phone, but they still want to stay connected with their loved ones. And that's actually one of the reasons I really enjoy using the Apple Watch Series 4 in a fitness capacity, is because I can stay connected, if you have an LTE version, of course, and I don't have to carry my phone. And that's generally on trail runs and running, but I have to tell you that it is really darn convenient. So the Vivoactive 3 lineup, I definitely get why they're starting with it, just because, again, it is more of the most smartwatchy watch that Garmin makes at this point. But I think the LTE feature could be really compelling for those people that do like to go out and adventure without carrying their phone. Now, being a cellular connected device, there was one notable omission that we didn't necessarily hear about, and that's going to be voice calls. Now, devices like the Vivoactive 3 Music, as well as the Forerunner 645 Music, Fenix 5 Plus series as well, they obviously have connectivity using a pair of Bluetooth headphones. Now, again, this was just kind of a notable omission that we just didn't hear about, so I'm not going to hold my breath on that feature. The fact that it does have cellular connectivity, that you can send and receive text messages, that's great, but it could be a hard sell, especially because of the data plans, if you don't necessarily have that voice calling feature. But I really hope Garmin's working on that, because I don't necessarily know if it's going to be compelling enough for people to upgrade without the voice calling feature. So was this a big announcement? I would say sort of. It definitely shows the direction that Garmin's going to go with a lot of future wearables, and I think that's really a good direction, but there's obviously a lot of details that need to be flushed out, and we'll learn a lot more, and I'll have more opinions for you coming soon. But I also want to hear what you think about this device. Is this going to be compelling enough for you to upgrade? So let us all know what you think about the new cellular version of the Vivoactive 3 in the comment section down below. And I've got a lot of stuff to get to right here. No, this is not all CES related. This is just stuff that I have in the backlog that I need to get to, but look for a lot of these videos coming soon. In the meantime, go have fun with your fitness. We will see you in the next video.